Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how I changed my entire life by telling a new story. I am your host, Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Another powerful video for you today. I want to talk about a conversation that I had with one of you that we first talked about 2.5 years ago, when this powerful creator first found the channel. And he had a lot of questions about subconscious programs, about his childhood when he was just a little kid. He was a runner. He loved running. He would run everywhere. And then he tripped and had an accident, right? Hit his head, had a big break in his leg, and had a slight limp from this accident. And other issues that he now is not sure if they were made up or real, but it doesn't matter. You always tell the story from hitting his head, right? And at the time, his parents were getting divorced, right? He came from a poor family. They never had money. The parents were not loving, didn't show a lot of love to them. They would just tell the story that this is life, it's hard, right? And that you're not athletic, you're not good enough anyway, right? Stuff like that. This is how this kid grew up, or this was his memory, right? This was his memory of that alternative reality where he wasn't good enough, where his parents were struggling with their own lives, right? And didn't show love, told the story of life is hard, that you're never going to be good enough or smart enough or athletic enough to create that dream life that you want. And at the same time, he had a crush on a girl who moved away. So his parents divorce, the girl moves away, he feels like he can't have love. He feels like he's not athletic enough to do the things that he wants to do. He always wanted to run. And the conversation I had with him at this time, and a young guy, right, in his mid-20s, and he said, you know, I just think these programs are keeping me from the love that I want. And I want to run 10Ks again, but I don't feel like I can. I don't feel like it still hurts, right, when he runs and all of this. And we talked about this, and now he's just sharing his story that he's getting his first house, he's getting married, he's running 10Ks, he's also skiing, which he thought he could never do. And he's got a great job, plenty of money. He goes, money's not an issue. I always have enough to travel and to do things with my fiance and so forth. His whole life changed. And I said, well, let's talk about that. What did it? And he goes, well, really, this whole idea that you talked about and that you continue to talk about is telling a new story, right? And I've talked about this in many different ways. And I go, but what really did it? Because those are the questions, right? How did he do it? How did he tell a new story? How did he change what seemed to be these subconscious programs that were running his life or ruining his life or sabotaging his life? But remember, we know that what you consciously determine, your conscious mind, what you consciously determine as your life is what determines your life. You're not run by those programs unless you believe you are, unless you assume you are, unless you allow them to run your life. So we're going to talk about this. And he said there was one powerful story that he goes, I remember pressing you on this back when we talked. And he goes, you told me a story of a creator that changed their entire life, and the circumstances seemed insurmountable. Well, I'm going to tell you this story and what this person is doing now and how their life changed and how he did it, because this is what really changed the life of this powerful creator that I talked with yesterday. And he said the story of this powerful creator who transformed their entire life, it defied the subconscious programs, overcame a fate or a script of poverty, of negativity, of suffering, and just trying to survive, to a new life and a new story of utter fulfillment, utter love, from a family of drug and alcohol abuse, where that each member of their family, his brothers and his sister, suffered from alcohol abuse. 4 of them from early deaths from drugs and alcohol, right? Or the death transition from drugs and alcohol, right? In and out of courts. All of this, right? And remember, it comes from a family where his father died young and his mother raised the kids, right? And a mother was an alcoholic, right? Never really showed love now and then, but it was mostly coming through that alcoholism, right? And telling them that you'll never be good enough. You're going to be like the others, right? Get a job and be like the others, right? Don't go to school. No one goes to school. His brothers dropped out of school or didn't finish high school or didn't get a college education. All of that was around him. Right, he wasn't encouraged. It was a story of lack and struggle and desperation, right? Early deaths, even his brother dying by suicide, all of this, right? His siblings dying by drugs, alcohol, and abuse, this was all around him. His dad dying young. He dared to imagine, though, right? Around all of that early impressionable years, that years from when you're just born to 7 years old, that everyone says that you're programmed by that. That was his life. That should have been his fate. Hear this. Of drugs and alcohol, of poverty, of struggle. Because that's what the program said. Right? We're saying that you're programmed, you're done. By age 7, you're done. Your life is determined. But guys, this isn't a good example. This kid dared to assume, dared to imagine, would look up at billboards of airplanes and people traveling to tropical locations, right? Dared to assume that I am who I say I am. Dared to study, dared to go to college, right? Went on to get that college degree, went on to get another graduate degree. Went on to become certified in certain skills, right? And being told that he's not athletic and that he's not good enough. Went on to take up sports like skiing and snowboarding and scuba diving like I've been doing, right? All of this, right? Loved, fulfilled, traveling the world with plenty of people around him, friends and family and lovers and everything else. Total fulfillment, but the odds, the fate was against him. The programs didn't tell it. The programs were telling a different story. So you're not sabotaged or there's no patterns or sabotage or programs that are running your life. Remember, when you believe that there's subjective tendencies running your life, you've already identified it as subjective tendencies. There's nothing hidden from you. Right? This is a powerful story. We'll get back to this story. We'll get back to this kid. Because this kid went on, right, to thrive in business, right? Become a CEO, a CFO, and run companies, right? Traveled the world and is still traveling the world. Went on to take up all sorts of sports and things that he wanted to do. Was no longer defined by all of that, right? His mother saying you'll never amount to anything, that you should just get a job and quit school. Think about this, right? With his brothers, there was no evidence of fulfillment, no evidence of love, no evidence of success. He created it, he imagined it, and went on to live that life. He wanted to love, he wanted to extend love and show love and be loved. And help others and have an impact on the world. And now this kid is. So we're going to talk about this. So what changed? What was it? Remember, the greatest love story, and because remember, all we want to do is feel the freedom of that love that we are. Yes, it comes in the form of lovers. It comes in the form of friends that you love, people that are close to you. But that's all an expression of the love that you are. It's the greatest love story ever told. It's I am. I am who I desire to be. I am who I want to be. I am who I dream to be. I am who I assume to be. It's the greatest story ever told. And we sit there asking how, with that terrible childhood, and everyone saying that you're doomed, that you'll never be good enough. Everyone telling you that at every stage in your childhood. How do you overcome that? Well, you're not those programs. You're the one that decides it all. Do you see it? It's about absolute unconditional love, joy, gratitude, and fulfillment no matter what. That's I am. That's the greatest story ever told. No matter what the circumstances and conditions are appearing as physical manifested experiences, no matter what you're thinking and feeling, no matter what others in the world are saying and doing, no matter what I do or don't do or say I don't or don't say, I am fulfilled, I am love, I am who I say I am. It's not the words you use when we talk about inner speech or inner talking or telling the story. It's not the ideas of what you're telling people and friends and family. It's who you're being. Then do whatever you want to do. Say whatever you want to say. No matter what those circumstances that are appearing as physical manifested experiences, you're more than them. You get to tell the story. That's why in Scripture, in John 8:5-8, it says, before Abraham, I am. Yes, it says before Abraham was, in this debate on where the comma should be. This is Jesus answering the Pharisees, right? Answering those and saying, before Abraham, I am. Before all those stories, whether they're stories of joy or stories of suffering and struggle, it doesn't matter. Before Abraham, I am. I'm that absolute fulfillment. I'm that absolute reality. I'm that absolute gratitude before all of those stories. Before the horizontal linear experience of the past, present, and future, I am. That eternal being. That's powerful. Let's unpack this. Before those so-called subconscious programs that we're told that run our life, that sabotage us unless we impress our subconscious differently, unless we affirm it away, right? That they're going to run our life, right? And we have no control of it. It's automatic. It's happening no matter what I do. Some of you say, no matter how much I affirm, no matter how much I imagine, I always come out with the same results, the same life, the same circumstances. It's not these programs that are running your life. You get to consciously determine it in every moment. Right? So before those subconscious programs, these programs we talk about, say the experts, right? From 0 to 7 years, were formed and impressed that you now assume and believe unwittingly control and ruin your life, I am. Powerful. Before Abraham, that's what Jesus said. Before Abraham, before those so-called subconscious programs that you believe were formed and impressed and that you assume and believe that unwittingly automatically run your life, I am. I am who I decide to be. Remember what subconscious means. Subconscious means below awareness. Below your awareness, automatically running without your awareness. But here's the thing, you are aware of them. They're not out of reach. Subconscious just means below awareness, below what you're currently focused on or consciously assuming. But they're not running your life. You can consciously declare anything. So they're no longer, remember, if you're aware of them, they are no longer a subjective tendency. They're no longer a pattern. They're no longer a fate. They're now a choice. Do you see it? When you know there's a pattern, when you know there's a subjective tendency, when you know there's a childhood of years 0 through 7 where you had these experiences, then it's a choice whether you create those memories, those experiences again in the now moment by who you are now, or you decide on something new and tell a different story. Because remember, there's no past there. We talked about this. You create the past now. There's no past to go back to. There's no past to regret. There's no past to change or be sad about. You create that right now by the story you're telling. What story are you going to tell? Because this version of you right now, who you are right now, creates that past you, creates the future you, creates who you are. It's a choice, right? Are you allowing them to be automatic? Because that's what you're saying. You're just allowing them to automatically run your life. Say, I have no choice. I can't tell a new story. They're running my life. Right? Subjective consciousness or tendencies means subject to. That's what subjective means. It means subject to something else. It means it has no power and authority unless that thing that it's subject to determines it. And so what are subconscious thoughts or tendencies subject to? They're subject to I am. They're subject to the conscious direction, or in other words, your conscious mind, your I am identity is the center of all of it, of all that is. Do you see it? That great I am is the great consciousness or the great subconscious mind. The only difference between conscious and subconscious just means you're not consciously aware of it at this moment. It doesn't mean you're not aware of it, meaning it's in your awareness. It means you're not consciously assuming it at that moment. But it's there. It's not that you're not aware of it. You're the center of all of it. You are the consciousness. You direct all of it by your story. Who are you? I am that person I always wanted to be. I am that ideal me. I am free. I am loved. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am who I desire to be. That's the story, your story. You direct it all as the center. Right? I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I. In other words, the Father is greater than whatever I can consciously be aware of at any moment. But that doesn't mean it's not accessible. That doesn't mean those programs are running my life. It means that I am all of it. And I get to decide it. I am one with that great subconscious. I'm not separate from it. And I direct it all as that conscious center. There's only one I am. There are not infinite I ams. There's one I am. I am God and there is no other. I am awareness and there is no other. I am the center of the divine mind and there is no other. I am reality and there is no other. It's you. This is powerful. Whatever you're not consciously aware of, the thoughts, the feelings, the circumstances, the conditions, the assumptions, and beliefs are said to be subconscious, or in other words, below your awareness. But, hear this, that doesn't mean they're inaccessible, out of reach, or hiding, and automatically sabotaging and ruining your life. Nothing is automatic unless you say so. Right? These so-called subconscious programs have no power to direct or decide anything or create or manifest anything in your life. They have no authority whatsoever to run your life unless they're given from above. That's why Jesus said, you would have no authority over me. You would have no power whatsoever unless given from above. When he was in front of Pontius Pilate and Pilate was questioning him, you would have no power whatsoever unless it's given from above. You're the one that gives it all power. You are the above. You're one with the great I am. Right? We can keep talking about blaming it on our childhood, blaming it on others, blaming it on the world, or we can take a stand in the I amness that we are. Right? I am that I am. Right? So your conscious, self-aware mind is the only I am. Your conscious, self-aware mind is the only I am. There's only consciousness. Subconscious means that stuff that's just below what you're consciously focused on at the moment. But it doesn't mean you're separate from it. It doesn't mean it's hidden or out of reach. I and the Father are one. Yes, the Father is greater than I, but I am, right? The Father is greater than I am, but I'm one with the Father. You're one with that consciousness or that great subconscious mind, right? So your conscious, self-aware mind, the only I am there is, was, or ever be. I am that I am. I am who I am. That's why when Moses asked God, who shall I send me, say that I am sent you. In other words, I am, this is my name forever and ever. There's only one name. There's only one God. There's only one nature. That's I am. There's only one truth. There's only one reality. And you're it. You're the center of it. There's no programs running you. Right? There's always that question like, oh, how do I know I impressed my subconscious? How do I know my subconscious accepted that? Remember, the subconscious or consciousness doesn't accept or reject anything. It is everything. Do you see it? So it's not about trying to impress something that you believe is outside of you or greater than you. And trying to impress it and trying to change it and trying to program it. You're the program. You're consciousness. So everything, every thought, feeling, image, identity, reality is an impression. But so you exist as part of all of those. You are existence itself. The only question is, where are you going to live? Where are you going to dwell? What's going to be your neighborhood in that great subconscious, in that great consciousness? And you're the center of it. So you get to determine where you're going to live, where you're going to dwell. Are you going to keep declaring and assuming and affirming that programs from, that you're run by subconscious programs, you're run by the childhood that was undesired, that you're run by the parents who didn't care and love for you, or the breakup that you had 5 years ago or 2 years ago, or this incident or that incident? What is it? What are you going to be? I really want to know. Before Abraham, before the good and the bad, the happy and sad, the right and wrong, before any other story of who I am or who I am not, I am. Before any of those stories that I'm this or that, or I'm not this or that, it's just I am. It's I am love. I am fulfillment. I am complete. I am whole. I am unconditional awareness. I'm unconditional love. That's what unconditional love means. Not conditioned by anything outside of you. I am that I am. I am who I am. I am who I desire to be. That's why Jesus said you could have no power at all against me unless it had been given from above. You would have no authority unless it had been given from above. Love, fulfillment, living and experiencing the life of your dreams is not something you attract and manifest. It's a decision. To be that person, to be that identity, to be that version of you that you always wanted to be and that you have always already been. You are that anyway. You know that truth within you, right? That's powerful. When you imagine, when you assume, when you affirm, when you tell the story, when you tell the story of I am, the story of who you would like to be, and not who and what you appear to be, as defined by the past, present circumstances and conditions and programs, what we call those programs, you can lay aside all other processes. This is why Neville Goddard said that. He talks about matching your inner talking, your inner speech, to your wish fulfilled. You can lay aside all other processes. When you imagine, when you assume, when you affirm, when you tell the story of I am who I would like, of who you would like to be, and not what you appear to be, of what you would like your life to be, what would you like your past to be, and not what you believe it was, not what it appeared to be. You're now defining it by who you are in this moment. You can lay aside all other processes, but I am. You're not defined by any past, present, or future conditions or circumstances. You define it all. Inner speech, inner talking is simply your I am story, your conviction of being. That's what Neville Goddard and all the others mean by inner speech. It has nothing to do with the specific words you're saying or anything that you do or say as part of the script in the 3D world experience. It's more of a knowing, a conviction of being that I am, no matter what. It's not about the specific words, the mantras, the affirmations, although they can be powerful. But it's not about them or what you say or don't say or do or don't do, although that can be powerful as well. There's a sense of conviction, of beingness behind it that creates it all. Within the script of 3D world appearances and conditions. It's not about any of that. It's not about the words and mantras or affirmations. It's not about what you say or don't say or what you do or don't do. That's within the script of the 3D world of appearances and conditions. It's not even about the changing thoughts, feelings, emotions, triggers, and reactions to those circumstances and conditions. Hear this. So it's not about the mantra, the specific mantras of the words or affirmations, or what you do or don't do, or say or don't say within that script of 3D manifested appearances and conditions and circumstances. And it's not even about the changing thoughts and feelings, emotions, triggers, and reactions that you have to them. It's about you. Who do you say you are? So what? You get triggered. So what? You react emotionally. That's what the 3D experience is about. It's about feeling that emotion. It's about physically creating that experience. But you're not bound by any of it. You're not in bondage by any of that. You determine your reality. This is powerful today. I'm not sure we've said it like this before. And so that story that I told you about this, one that transformed his life, right? Now that he's getting married, he's buying a house. And he said what transformed the house, transformed him is the story that I told him about that other kid that grew up in a broken family, dysfunctional conditions. That was the story. Alcoholic mother telling him he's not good enough or worthy enough. And that he should just get a job like the others and quit school, quit college. Don't have aspirations, right? Life is hard. It's tough, right? There's no wealth anywhere. We're poor and we got to scrape. We're on food stamps and government assistance, right? This is what the story this kid was told, that you're never going to amount to anything. And then the story of his brothers dying by drug abuse and alcohol, early, young, right? All of this going on. Father dying when he was just 6 years old, right? The devastation, right? His mother an alcoholic, his sister an alcoholic, his own brother dying by suicide, his own twin brother dying by suicide, but goes on to get that education, to dream that dream. As a little kid, he knew there was something off. He knew there was something bigger going on. He knew he could dream anyway, even as the others around him told him he couldn't. And he went on to be successful in business, to travel the world, and then went on to do something wonderful or be something wonderful. This is my story. And I share it with you as a powerful reminder that it doesn't matter, guys. The circumstances don't matter. The programs don't run your life. You do. And I remember when I was in South America, because I think you guys, if you've read my book, Be Something Wonderful, you don't have to read the book. It's on Amazon. It's just a little book. I talk about reality creation, some early thoughts on it. I talk about my life story as well, a story of Be Something Wonderful and how it all happened. And as I was sitting in South America, I've achieved a lot at this point, right? Or in terms of the 3D world terms, right? Overcoming that story of childhood is my story, right? That's my twin brother, right? I sat there and I go, this isn't enough. Right? It just wasn't, there was something missing, right? That little kid that was dreaming big, there was still something missing. Of all the things that I was doing and accomplishing, I wanted to do something wonderful. And then I crossed it out and I said, I want to be something wonderful. That's how it started. And then for a few years, I started, went and started the organization. People would ask me, what's Be Something Wonderful? I wasn't coaching at this point. I didn't have a YouTube channel. And I said, it's something wonderful. It's so big. They go, but what is it? But I knew what it was. I had that. It didn't matter what I tell them. I just kept answering, it's something wonderful. But it isn't. They're going, it isn't. It isn't anything. And I go, okay. It didn't matter. I kept telling the story, right? A powerful decision. A new I am story, that I am something wonderful. And you are too, and we all are. But what is it? What do you offer? What do you do? I don't understand, Tom. You don't have to understand. I know. And now this is what we're doing. Now I'm traveling the world. I'm talking to you guys every day in videos. Some of you I'm talking to in Zoom calls and WhatsApp all over the world now. Countries that I would never thought that I would be talking to someone from. It's amazing. And I'm going to be visiting some of these countries over the coming months. This is powerful, right? So your answer, it's something wonderful. That's my answer. That was my answer. It's something wonderful. Life is wonderful. It's about love and fulfillment, right? Yes, there were images, there were imaginal scenes, there were affirmations, there were mantras. But it's the I am conviction. Yeah, I did all of those, and I still do. I love processes, but it's the I am conviction, the power and authority from above. That I am story is how you change your entire life. So yes, I told you another story. I started out telling you the other story of that powerful creator that changes life. But then I'm finishing by telling you this is my story. This is why I'm here standing in front of you, telling you, right? After 4 brothers dying from drugs and alcohol, after a family of a life of a childhood of poverty and struggle, it was just a story. It was just one potential story. It's one reality. It's one alternative me. But when I decided to be who I am, I changed everything, past, present, and future. I'm no longer that kid that was struggling. Do you see it? We change everything here and now. Tell that new story. Don't worry about how you do it. Just be it. Tell it. You're something wonderful. I am that I am. I am who I say I am. I am successful. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am everything that I wanted to be. Wow. I'm everything that I've ever wanted to be. Tell that story and watch how your life changes. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and for being part of our membership channel. We're going to have more content coming out. We're going to have another live stream exclusively to be broadcast on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel, where you get to chat with me live. In our live event, I answer your questions on the live, and also the questions that you've been sending us to info@besomethingwonderful.com. If you're a member, join us. If you're not a member, check out the link below. Guys, I just want to say, I got a little emotional here, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's the 3D, even though I know there's nothing that we're all more than those emotions. It's source energy telling me, yes, I agree with you. Right? You are all something wonderful. That's source energy, even if it gets translated into watery eyes and a feeling of that maybe you feel like you've lost someone in your life from a physical transition. No one goes anywhere. We're all together here and now for eternity. Wow. Until next time, creators, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. See you soon.